You're listening to the Extended Family Podcast. Let's go.
That's a crazy one.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your host, Ricky Delgado Martinez, and I am so excited to be able to officially say welcome to episode 1 of the Extended Family Podcast. This is officially the start. And before I get started, I just want to thank everyone who is listening to the show right now. Everyone who has reached out and showed their support for the show. The love that this show has already gotten has made me excited to be able to get to do this every week. Now, if you're listening for the first time, I recommend that you go back and listen to the preview episode that I dropped last week. I think it's important for you to listen to that one, especially if you haven't already, because it gives you my reasons for wanting to start this podcast, and it gives a breakdown of what this podcast is about. Okay? So if you haven't listened to that one, stop right now and go back and listen to that. All right? Okay, so that's it for the intro. I'm super excited for the show today. I'm going to be saying that so much, but hey, you know what? It's okay with me. I'm really just going to I'm telling you guys how it is, man, and excited is how I'm feeling. So today on the show, on the Extended Family Podcast, I want to welcome our very first guest. This man comes out of Sacramento, California. He's a product of Sheldon High School. He is also the point guard of the Chico State men's basketball team. I want to welcome my friend, my brother, Zay Brooks. Zay, thank you so much for coming on, man. Welcome to the show.
What's up, man? I'm glad to be the first guest.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it, man. How's everything been going?
Everything's been good. Just been, taking trips, just trying to be as active as possible right now.
Okay.
Staying up at home is not really what's best for people right now. So just being out and doing things are what's best.
I feel it. Where are you right now?
I'm staying with Calvin for the weekend. I got up here on Thursday. I'll probably leave sometime soon in the next couple of days.
Okay, perfect. So before we get into everything, if you want to follow Zay on social media, you can find him everywhere in the description to the show. His Instagram, his Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. So please go check him out. So, man, it feels like it's been years since we've talked, at least for me. I think the last time was in March, right before, everything got shut down. I think it was the day that Coach Klink told us that the tournament had been canceled. So, we had just gotten to San Diego from Chico. We left at 6 a.m, got to San Diego at 5 p.m. We had dinner. We were relaxing, and we find out that the NBA just shut down. So that Rudy Gobert had or tested positive for the coronavirus. And, I think, at least for me and maybe for you, that's something I never thought I would see, like a whole sports league just shut down like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
Okay. So yeah, man, complete shutdown of, something that we all loved. So what were your feelings about the NBA shutting down towards us? Did you think that we were still going to play, or did you think that, anytime now they're going to tell us we're done?
Well, honestly, when I first heard about the NBA going down, there were so many sources that I was getting information from, whether it was Twitter or, you go online and you look at the news, or on TV, or you talk to your friends or your trainers, coaches. But once I knew that the NBA was done, I knew that us playing was on very thin ice.
Mm-hmm.
Our trainer, Devin, he was saying that he had a speculation that we were supposed to be like the testing, like the testing hamsters to see like, oh, will cases go up in that town if we were to have a tournament in San Diego? So he thought that like if we could do something good, then it would potentially move down to the Division I level or maybe back to the NBA level. So I was just really thinking, I was like, well, it could go either way. We could play or we could not play. So it was challenging.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. And then, the next day, Thursday, we have breakfast. And then around 12 o'clock, we get that text from Coach Klink. Team meeting right now. I'll tell you, I can tell you my first thought. I was like, man, we're done. It's over for us. What was yours?
No, man, I just felt so bad for Justin, and I knew we brought you,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew you were juiced, and everybody, because it was my first ever West Region game too.
Yeah.
So everybody was just like super juiced to get going. We had a great spot in the tournament, but as soon as he said team meeting, I was just like, man, I don't want to say it, but like, man, it's over.
Yeah, it's crazy looking back, and like that was kind of, at least for me, that was like our last normal day before everything, happened as it happened.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So looking back on this whole pandemic, if you could go back to March 10th, the last day before this all happened, um, you could give your past self one word of advice for this whole time. What would it be? Right? What would it be?
Ooh, ooh. I would probably tell myself like, bro, like change is coming. Like a lot of change is coming. In a couple months, you're gonna be like nowhere near what you were doing. Like
Uh huh.
it's like you just the stuff that you're doing every day, the time that you're spending with people, it's just gonna be so much different. Like I would just tell myself to like be ready and just like welcome the change, because at the end of the day, 90% of your life is how you react to it, and
Yeah.
10% of it is actually what happens.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, man. If I could go back, I would have told myself to start working on what I've been doing earlier. Because I don't know if you've
Mm-hmm.
seen, but I've been doing like this program called 75 Hard.
No, yeah, I've been
Yeah,
seeing it,
and
bro.
so since we got back in it, well, since February 18th, I've lost damn near 50 pounds just
That's
from
crazy, bro.
working. And then I got today, Saturday and Monday, and then I'll be done with the first part of it. But dude, I never would have thought, I would have created a podcast. Never would have
Yeah,
thought
bro.
I'd, start working. But like that's for me, I just would have said, don't waste a whole month. Just get into it
Yeah,
right away.
proud of you,
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, man, appreciate that.
um the thing is that when the quarantine first started, it's like, especially for you and me, because we have school and then we got practice, and then you got your homework, and then you want to have a social life, and then it's just a repeat every
Hmm.
single day. And so for the first couple of weeks, you're like, wow, like I have so much time on my hands, I can do anything. So the first thing we do is choose to rest. And I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but
Yeah.
when you rest for too long, that's when you start to get stagnant, and then you become comfortable with the rest. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I was just, on 10 doing all these
Uh
great
huh.
things for myself early. It took a couple of weeks for me to sit down and say, you know what, like, we need to start working out. We need to start running every day. We need to start dedicating ourselves to certain hobbies. We need
Hmm.
to start creating boundaries so that I'm not wasting my time. And, you can set time to play video games, or, because people nowadays, they just sit there on the chair and do whatever for 12 hours. Like I made sure I set up certain times for, okay, it's good to play video games at this time. It's good to rest and just be in your bed and sit on your phone for an hour or 30 minutes.
Yeah. And I think going off that too, I mean, when it first started, Chico told us that it was going to be until after spring break. So I kind of thought of it as when the campfire happened, how, we would be gone for maybe a couple weeks and then we come back. Um,
Hmm.
but I never would have thought that it would have been this far. But yeah, kind of how you said, those first couple weeks, we had never been in that kind of situation before. So, it took us a little bit of time, but you're working, I'm working. So as long as we're doing something to stay active and better ourselves, then, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to Calvin about this, and I was like, yeah, bro, it's pretty crazy for some of these students that have gone to Chico, like, their first year or whatever year, they experience 1 year of campfire, and having to be home and missing a whole half of the semester,
Hmm.
and then the next year they experience coronavirus, and then they miss their whole spring semester. Like it's crazy for some of these students that have just showed up to Chico. It's like, wow, I haven't had one regular year yet. Like I
Yeah.
haven't experienced Chavez, or
Mhm.
certain aspects of like what it's like in the winter before you go home for finals. Like we were just at home because of campfire.
Mhm.
So it's
So
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
so I mean, you're kind of in the same boat too, because as an athlete, you don't really know when you're going to be back in the gym. I don't think anybody really knows when you're going to be back in the gym. And
Mm.
you had to deal with the campfire. Now you have this coronavirus. How are you? Yeah, at least trying to stay positive towards there actually being a season.
Oh
this
man.
next year?
Well, we talk to our coach like probably once a week. He has us in this huge group chat, and he tells us any updates that he has. So right now, I tell everyone just to keep a positive mindset. A lot of my teammates, some of them are like, oh, we aren't having a season, or they try to think negatively towards it. And I tell them, I say, you guys can say that to each other, like individually, but in terms of this group chat, like I don't want any of that negativity. Like I only want positive things like, oh, we are having a season, or I hope we have a season. Like I don't want to hear stuff like, oh, we're not having a season, because for 7 of us, or 6 of us, 5 of us, it's our senior year. So it's like I want to make it as big as possible and have as much fun as possible. So it doesn't matter when our season starts, whether it's January, it could start in
Yeah.
November. I want these positive vibes to go towards us having a season.
Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. All right, so I got to tell everybody about you and TikTok for a second. That had to be something I brought up, man.
Okay.
So when you first started to make videos, you told me, and I kind of looked at you funny because for one, I didn't understand what TikTok was.
Yeah.
Second thing was, I thought TikTok was just something that like middle schoolers did, so I had no
Yeah.
idea what it was. So, since the beginning, you've been really consistent about posting videos, keeping up with kind of all the trends that are going on with it. Sometimes, you're even going and making your own original stuff. So you're sitting at 140.5 thousand followers right now. So tell us like why you wanted to start making videos.
Okay. Well, December 2nd, I remember the exact day. I was sitting in my room and I was talking to my roommates, Calvin and Spence, and I was like, yo, like, what is TikTok? And then they explained what TikTok is. I was like, I want to make one. And they were like, oh, okay. So I made one. And then in a weekend, I was like, bro, I think I can do it. And Calvin was like, do it. And Spencer was like, yeah, bro, like, see what happens and do it. I was like, all right, whatever. So I started to make some videos, and it was pretty fun at first. I was like, yeah, these are so cool, like making whatever. And obviously it's super cringy because nobody likes the videos and nobody follows you. So it's like, ooh, that's kind of uncomfortable. But it was Valentine's Day, February 14th. And I had 3 videos that blew up. Like one hit 1 million, another one hit like 1.5.
Oh,
And then the
geez.
third one hit like 4 or 5 million, 4 million, I think it's at right now. And so at that point, everything just started to blow up. Like it was like 60,000 followers in 48 hours. It took 2 days for me to go from 1,000 followers to 100,000, and it just all happened so fast. It was something that I've never experienced before. Like I've never ever been in a position to where social media wise, like I'm on this specific platform. Like it almost overwhelmed me. Like I just would talk about it so much, and it was just like this huge thing in my life that, like, for some people, they couldn't necessarily react a certain way. Like just the way I reacted it was crazy, bro. It's just I didn't know how to explain it. Like it was 2 days where it's just like it blew up, and I just wanted to tell all my friends about it. And now it's something that I'm kind of used to. Obviously, you keep growing, so I'm at 140 now. But you just keep growing, and I'm just having a lot more fun with it. I'm realizing that like I wanted to make this huge thing that like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this, when really I should just be taking it day by day, and having fun with it and doing things that's fun to me and make me laugh. And I try to treat TikTok like a job, when instead it should just be something that's fun, something that I enjoy doing, and not worrying about the numbers. It should be worrying about what I wanted to do at first, which was making people laugh
Mhm.
and making really good content.
Okay.
So
All right, cool. All right, so like, because you gave a lot right there about kind of what you've gotten out of posting your videos, but is
mhm.
there anything that you've kind of learned about yourself while posting? Because I think some people look at TikTok and they might make fun of the people that are posting these videos, but in reality, I think it's kind of like me in this podcast. It's just people trying to step out of their comfort zone to do something
Mhm.
that they end up loving to do. So like, what's one thing that you've kind of learned about yourself through all of TikTok?
um One thing I learned about myself is that uh there's a lot of genuineness that goes on that people don't understand. No matter where you're at, like if you have 10 followers or you have 100,000 followers, the genuineness is what matters. As soon as you start to worry about, what your followers, because obviously, you're there for your followers and stuff, and they love you, and that's why they follow you. So, but as soon as you start to worry too much about their opinions and not doing what you want to do, like what you want to do and what you enjoy, then that's when you start to lose the fun out of it. Like I promise you, bro, there was a couple of weeks to a month where like I was obsessed with TikTok. Like I was so worried about like what's next and who my followers are. And I would talk about it so much, and it's like it was stressing myself out. It was stressing my friends out. And I was like, you know what, bro? Like at the end of the day, like whatever is gonna happen with this is gonna happen. So all I need to do is just to take it day by day and just have fun with it and not take it too seriously. And that's something that you should just do with life in general. But I just knew that when I started to make these videos, um, I just needed to realize that the people want to follow me because they think I'm funny or whatever they get out of it. And just being genuine and just realizing that, whatever I want to do is what I want to do. I shouldn't have to stress off of it. It should just be something that's fun. And so after I did that, like I usually don't talk to my friends about it anymore or anything. I just kind of post, and they'll comment or they'll share stuff with me like, oh, that was Zay, that was really funny, or that was really cool. But usually in terms of TikTok, I just kind of keep that to myself now because I realize that it's my deal. So it's like I should be the one that's
Yeah.
really having fun with it and
Yeah.
making it mine.
And I think the cool thing for me too is like when you started, it's kind of like, domino effect. JB started making videos. I started making videos and they were horrible. Calvin and Spencer started. So, at least for me as like, the team manager for you guys is, I see you guys on the basketball court and I see you guys, sometimes outside of basketball, but to be able to see you guys, stepping out of your comfort zone made me happy because it's not, you don't really see that a lot. And I think some people, they're too guarded and they don't
Yeah,
want to step out. So that,
yeah.
that, that was cool for me to be able to see.
No,
So,
yeah, it's funny. Our whole team is pretty funny, bro. And everybody, their TikToks, like maybe to most people they're not funny, but because you're around us every day,
mhm.
we're around each other every day. I promise you, bro, your TikToks were hilarious. Yours were hilarious. Justin's are hilarious. Everyone's is just so funny just because
Yeah.
I know you. I know you so personally.
Yeah. I feel the same way. So another way that you've started to expand your reach is you started doing vlogs. I
Mm-hmm.
think you have you have 5 episodes out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them is funnier than the next. That these last two, man, they got me. They were something. Um, so why did you want to start a YouTube channel? Why did you want to start posting these videos?
Oh man. The first thing I want to say is I'm glad. Like I swear, like these videos are really fun to make, but what's even more fun is I love people's reactions. Like, and it doesn't have to be positive, it doesn't have to be negative, like just anybody's
Uh,
reactions in general. Like I'm not when I make these vlogs, it's not like to invoke one specific emotion out of you. It's to invoke whatever you feel like getting from my videos. So it's just I love like when you were just talking about that right there, bro, it just like
uh-huh.
that's the best part to me is when people describe like how these vlogs are to them. But anyways, moving to where you said why. It's something that I've always wanted to do, bro. Like a couple of months ago, it was maybe March or April. Calvin and Spence showed me David Dobrik, and I had zero idea who he was. Like I was like, bro, who is this? Who is Jason Nash? Who is this old guy that's on their videos? Who's Jeff Wittick? And I ended up watching like 200 some odd of his vlogs in a matter of 2 months, and I was like, wow, I really want to do this. This seems fun. And I was trying to figure out if his vlogs were staged or if like it was actually a lot of genuineness going on. And you realize that like obviously it's a marketing thing. So like when they're on there, they're marketing themselves, their brand, their name, whatever they got going on. But it is a real true friendship, and there's a lot of chemistry between those guys that makes it so fun. And it's like yeah, they get these science experiments and they travel to these places and they meet all these people. But at the end of the day, I watch them because I enjoy the group, their chemistry, and how funny they are. And it's cool that David, lets people see a piece of his life. Not all of it, because obviously he's a grown man who has his private things that he goes about, but it's really cool to see that. So I literally am trying to emulate that. Like I want to be the Black David Dobrik. Like that's my goal, is for people to be like, oh yeah, David Dobrik, but have you seen Zay Brooks's vlogs? Like
Uh-huh.
he's really cool, picking up steam. He has great content. So I know, um, I know what I'm in for. It's not something that's just gonna happen. TikTok, yeah, I blew up in 4 months, but honestly, anyone can blow up on TikTok at any time. It's not necessarily that hard. Like when people ask me about it, I say, yeah, I don't know. Like it just happens. Like it can happen to anyone. You just stay consistent and you post funny stuff. It's bound to happen. Um, but I don't even know where I'm going, bro. I'm off
No,
on
no,
a
no.
tangent.
That was perfect. So, do you think that? I mean, I think you kind of answered this next question already, but do you think that once all this free time is kind of done, creating your vlogs is going to be something that you keep on doing?
Oh, definitely, bro. I'm already having ideas to when we get back, and who I want and from Chico, like who I want to be in the vlogs, and just all these people that we have in Chico that are really cool people.
Hmm.
And I'm hoping to get people that can do crazy things and do like I have so many thoughts in my head, bro. I have this book that I keep right next to my bed that I write in every morning and every night. Just like ideas and plans and items to buy for future blogs and stuff. So I have a lot of plans. This is something that I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, but I posted for my birthday. I said, I have a lot of ideas in my head. So all I can ask is that just everybody that supports me to bear with me,
Yeah, no,
because
I saw that.
this plan that I have, I know it's not going to happen in a couple months. I know it's not going to happen in a year, but if I can consistently keep posting great content and just living in the moment and doing what I want to do with my friends, I have no doubt, my intuition, we have no doubt that I'll be right where I want to be in terms of me making these vlogs.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, 5 episodes in, what's
Hmm.
been the biggest challenge so far when it comes to making these videos?
Okay, so how do I explain this in like the easiest way possible? So basically, the camera itself, I went and spent $1,000 on like all the materials. That's like the camera, the the uh the mic, the ring light, the stand, the backpack. Like I have the camera right
Uh-huh.
here.
Oh wow.
So like yeah. So it's really a commitment, bro. It's like an investment within yourself.
Hmm.
So first off, you get that down. You have to understand how this $1,000 camera works. You're trying to be so fragile with it, but then after a while, you understand that cameras are actually really tough. So then you get done with those, and then the software that I use to edit these videos, I had to take a crash course with my friend Justin, not the Justin that's on our team, but this other Justin that lives across the street from me. He gave me like this week crash course on this $3,000 software to use on his computer, and then I had to find the software on mine. Had a friend that could get it to me for free, and then I started to work on it. So I would say the most challenging part is just like, oh, probably all of it's challenging, but it's so fun. Like the editing is challenging because it's tedious. You have to drag and drop, and
Hmm.
you have to move the SD card into the USB, and then you have to make sure the battery's correct, and just like all these things to move in order. The software has to be linked with your media, but it's so fun because it takes up my time. 4 hours goes by in a snap of the fingers because I'm just like so enveloped in this software. And it's fun clips like you see, bro. Like it's fun clips to edit. So it's not like I'm sitting there editing these, boring clips. Like it's fun stuff of my friends doing fun things, and I get to pick and choose. Oh wow, that's really funny. That goes in there. Or oh no no no, that can be used somewhere else. Or it's definitely challenging, but fun challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, no, I totally agree with you. I think for me too, when you talk about the editing, that's kind of like my